Well, what's going on, guys? My name is T, and welcome to the Side Hustling for Dollars channel. I started this channel because there's a lot of gatekeepers out there, and I don't want to gatekeep information. There's a lot of helpful resources out there that can really help some people that are in a bind, can really help some of you guys that are trying to figure out a way that you can make an extra $1,000 a month, or maybe an extra $2,000 a month, but you just don't know where to look. So that's why I started this channel just to give you guys some helpful information. So this video that I'm doing right now, this is the first of many. I wanted to talk to you about this company called Arise. I did a short on this company the other day and posted it. Feel free to go look at that. But just to give you a really high level summary of what Arise is, of course, you can go to the site and do your research, poke around. But essentially, Arise is a company that allows everyday people like you and I to work from home or really just work remotely from pretty much anywhere in the US, picking the hours that you want to work, picking the type of company that you want to work for because they have a lot of companies you can choose from. And basically, you're just doing customer service related work from the comfort of your own home at an hourly rate. And the hourly rate can vary depending on which company you sign up for. You're basically in the 1099 independent contractor seat. So you'll get paid hourly. There will be no taxes taken out of your money. Of course, you'll have to square up with Uncle Sam when tax time comes. But up until then, you get to keep that full hourly rate and just rack up as many hours as you can. Some people like to take these opportunities and work a few different contracts. You may be working contract A with one company through Arise. And then once you kind of, understand the lay of the land and you've gotten kind of acclimated to that company, you may sign up for another company on the Arise platform and also work that contract, right? So it's not uncommon for people to stack these opportunities. There are other companies that offer this same type of situation. I'll be talking about those opportunities on this channel as well. But to no further ado, let's get into it. I want to tell you guys a little bit more about Arise and a opportunity that they have currently available on the site. I definitely recommend you go ahead and sign up, even if you don't see an opportunity that's interesting to you. They always have new opportunities popping up weekly. So go ahead and sign up so that way you can get into their system. So that way, when something comes across that you do like, you can already go ahead and just sign up. You don't have to start from scratch. You know what I mean? So here we are. This is Rise. I've given you the high level overview of exactly what it is. Now I want to dig into the opportunity that they have. All right. So they had this opportunity that just popped up recently with a company called Fiserv. You can do your Google research on Fiserv, but Fiserv is a huge company, a huge financial uh, company. They are looking for customer service agents right now. So just to kind of show you what you can expect to see if you sign up for a Rise, if they have a bunch of different companies, all those companies will be here on the page. Currently, they just have this one, but it's the top of the year. I've been on here before and I've seen them have 6 or 7 different companies that you can choose from, and it can be anything from banks to insurance companies to like electric companies, like a Georgia Power type of thing, or whatever those electric providers are, to a cable company. You might be doing roadside assistance, helping people with that. I mean, there's so many different types of things that they have. But right now, we just got the one. So we're going to dig into this a little bit. All right. So when you're looking at these, it tells you the deadline to apply for this role is March 2nd. And what they mean for apply, they're really just saying to sign up. The deadline for you to try to sign up for this is March the 2nd. The course is going to start on March the 17th. That's basically saying the training for this role starts on March the 17th, and it says you can start earning on April the 23rd. Now, this right here, these opportunities on sites like this, you are your own boss. You're not an employee. Some people are like, oh, no, I don't get paid to do training. You got to leave that employee mindset behind you because now when you step into this role, you're basically your own boss. And coming from somebody like myself that has spent a lot of years being my own boss, I've done a lot of training and not gotten paid for it. You gotta invest in yourself, right? Whether that's investing money or time. In this case, you're really gonna be investing time, the time to train and learn these materials so that you can start making money. Now, Arise started doing something pretty cool. They used to not pay you for training, but now they do. They pay you like, say the job that you sign, say the company that you sign up for, say they pay $17 an hour once you start earning, right? And you're on the phones. But say you're in training, all while you're in training, they started this new thing where they'll pay you like half of that rate. After you complete training, they'll go back and drop you a check for all the training hours. Because the way Arise does their training is you have to actually log into a Zoom at whatever those scheduled hours are for the training. Some of the trainings are like 3 hour trainings Monday through Friday. Sometimes it might be in the morning. It might be from 9 to, I don't know, 12 o'clock. They might have some evening ones that might go from, I don't know, 6 to 9 or whatever the case. Their training times are all over the place depending on what you choose, right? So keep that in mind. You will have to do some training before you actually start making whatever that true hourly rate is for that role, but their trainings are typically not that long. Man, they're not that long. They may be 2 weeks on average. Some of them run longer. A company like Fiserv, because it's such a big company, and because of the nature of this role, we'll dig into what it is. You're gonna need a little bit more training for this because of the nature of the role. I believe it deals kind of you're gonna be dealing with some fraud cases and things like that. So it requires some training because keep in mind Arise don't expect you to have a whole bunch of experience across a bunch of different fields. They're going to train you. So that's the upside, right? You can just basically it makes it easy for anybody to just sign up and start working. You know what I'm saying? So let's dig into this thing a little bit. Let me open it up. All right, so this is the role right here. They're looking for a Fiserv debit card services person, right? So let me scroll down here a little bit. Tells you a little bit about who they are. They're a global fintech and payments company with solutions for banking, global commerce, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So when you scroll down, you will be required to do a drug screening for this. Some of the roles you'll see on some of these sites, they do require a drug screen. I know some people kind of wonder, well, I'm not driving to work. I'm not going to be in an office space. I'm going to be at my house. Why do I need a drug screen? I think this is a way for them to weed out the people that are serious from the ones that are not. And I really think that's why they do this, right? So you just gotta roll with it. You do the drug screen. It's real easy. You just go to over the lab court, give your urine sample and go on about your business. You do have to pay that, whatever that fee is. And then some of these companies, you will have to do a background check. But on the rise, you do one background check, and that background check will cover you for however many companies you want to sign up for like, I think a year. Your background check is good for a year. You do it that one time, it's good for a year, and you work for whoever you want to work for. They'll just use the same background check. You may just have to, you're going to have to do a drug screen for each one that requires it, though. That's the only thing. And keep in mind, you're going to be your own boss. So these are tax write-offs for this particular situation. If you pay for the background check, if you pay for your drug screen, when it comes time for you to do your taxes and you get that 1099, you can write those things off. Another thing too, when you're with a rise, you do need to have your own equipment. I have a laptop. I recommend if you don't already have a laptop, get you a little laptop. Nothing fancy. A Windows laptop is best because most of these companies don't do Mac, don't do Apple products. So get you a basic Windows laptop and nothing fancy as long as you got Windows 11 and you got uh, the basic things that are needed, and they give you a list here. Even right here, it says system requirements. You can go through and check system requirements to see what you need. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg on a laptop. Most of us already got laptops anyway. For the most part, you got a computer or a laptop. So like I said, I recommend a laptop because you can pick it up and take it with you. So for instance, if I had to go out, maybe I want to go out of town, but I still want to work, right? I can just take my laptop. And as long as you can hardwire yourself into the internet, you're good. A lot of these companies want you to hardwire into the internet. That means actually running that cord from the internet box to your computer. Some of them might be okay with you using just Wi-Fi, but many of them want you to have a secure, dependable line, which means you need to just hardwire from your router box into your computer. All right. But let's get back here. Okay, so brief overview. This is an inbound customer service position, and it tells you a little bit more about the pay. We're going to unpack that a little bit because it looks like they're going to pay you based on the amount of hours that you work. The more hours you work, looks like a little bit higher your pay is going to be. So we'll dig into that a little bit. But let's go through these right here. Like I said, these are your system requirements. It tells you what type of system you need. This one requires you to have dual monitors. When you see that, it's basically saying Hey, like for example, I got a laptop. So my laptop monitor counts as monitor one, and then I got an additional monitor. Boom, I got dual monitors. Okay, you got to have a webcam, and like I had mentioned, the hardwire Ethernet connection right there, and a YubiKey and things like that. Every company that you will see on the rise may have a slightly different requirement for the systems, but the majority of them will require this. They want you to have 8 gigs of RAM on your computer, dual monitors, a webcam. They want you to be able to hardwire. Most of them want you to be able to have some headphones that you can plug into your laptop. They don't really like the Bluetooth stuff as well. YubiKey, you'll only see that on some clients. That's a secure key that you can use to fingerprint access yourself into their systems. You usually see that requested on like fintech, like financial companies, companies where you handle a lot of customers' personal information, like you're looking at social security numbers and all their personally identifiable information, like things like that. Those types of companies want you to have that extra layer of security. All right. Let me see here. All right, so certification. This gives you a bird's eye view into what you can expect certification period to be like. It tells you these are instructor led and self study content. And basically, what they're saying is, look, you're going to be coming to an instructor led certification. You're going to have an actual person on a Zoom call leading a group of you. It may be 20, 30, 40 or more of you in that class, just listening and trying to understand the material, getting your questions answered, making sure that your laptop is set up with all of their tech resources that they require, because a lot of these companies, they have their own software that they use in order for you to be able to do your job. So they're going to make sure you're up and running and that you have the software up and running that you need to do the job, all things like that. And there's also a part of it that's self study. You're going to have homework. You're going to go through things in class and they're going to say, okay, by the time we come back tomorrow, you need to have done these modules or whatever the case is. It's going to be like that, right? So you're going to have some self study time as well. And so it breaks down what the phases are of certification. The way the certification is broken out is going to vary depending on the company, but this is the way Fiserv is doing it. So that's that. And got some, what's this, additional details in here. You can kind of read through the additional criteria they got in here. But the revenue and schedule, okay, this is kind of what I touched on. All right, so this position is paying $17.40 an hour. And mind you, you pick your own hours. You work when you want to work. You just go in and choose the hours they have available that fit your schedule. And if you see over here on the left, it talks about certification revenue. During certification, like I said, at one point, Arise was not paying nothing. All your training was free. They was like, look, y'all business owners now, if you want to get this role, you just got to go do the training and pass the training, certify through the training, and then go make your money. Well, they kind of backpedaled, and now they're like, I think they heard the people that were complaining about the free, not getting paid during training. So they tried to take the middle ground and give you something. So now they're going to pay you $7.64 per hour towards all that training that you showed up for, and cut you a check for basically all of the training once you are done with the training. So you'll get one check that covers all of the training. So I think that was a nice touch because they didn't have to do that. For a 1099 situation. You're not an employee here, so they didn't have to pay you for training. So that was kind of a cool little extra thing they decided to do. And you can read all through this if you decide to sign up. Anything that you had to get for this position, it's going to be a write-off. So you paid for that background check, that's a write-off. You paid for your drug screen, that's a write-off. You bought a new laptop for this role, that's a write-off. You bought a headset, microphone, you bought monitors, all those things that you might have to buy to get into this role. Those are going to be tax write-offs, okay? All right, so now it talks about the day in the life. What exactly are you going to be doing in this customer service role? So it starts by telling you this particular role, they service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But it tells you most of your hours are going to be available between midnight and 5 a.m. So for those of you guys that work a day shift job or you work a second shift job or whatever, if you got the availability to work overnights, work that third shift, this is your opportunity right here. Right? If that's the only time you got in the day to bang it out and make some extra money, this is for you. Right? Or if you're somebody that just likes, you're a night owl, you just like that night work, right? So you can get it done in the middle of the night, maybe had a daytime to go and run your errands and do what you got to do. most of the intervals between midnight to 5 a.m. That doesn't mean they won't have hours available during the day, because they might, but most of them are going to be overnight for what you're going to be doing for this particular role. Now, Arise has a lot of different companies to choose from. You might see a company, it might be a 9 to 5 banker situation, which all of your hours may be available between 9 and 5. You might see one, your hours may be available between 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. because they're 24 hours. But for this particular company, this is what they're offering. Okay. They got some few special requirements, which you'll see that on some companies. Some companies do have some special servicing requirements. Fiserv, they want you to do 5 hours on Mondays or Fridays. I'm guessing that must be their busiest days of the week, and that's why they're saying that. They want you to put in 5 hours. You can do the 5 hours on Monday, or you can do the 5 hours on Friday. You do the 5 hours on both if it's available, but they definitely want you to pick one of those to put 5 hours of work in. All right. Then they got a little bit more details. What to expect. On a daily basis for the Fiserv debit card services program, agents will serve as an initial point of contact on banking inquiries and concerns. So think about that for a second. All of us are banking customers, right? How many times have you had to call your bank? Right? Maybe you logged into your bank account and you saw something weird, funky going on with your banking, right? You're like, wait a minute, I didn't make that purchase. What is that? Right? So what you do, you call the bank, right? You got questions. You're going to be sitting in that seat getting those types of phone calls, right? People don't want to know, details about what's happening with their accounts, right? So that's basically what you're going to be doing, right? Provide support for existing and prospective clients via inbound telephone calls, resolve concerns on retail, commercial, online banking, as well as bank card fraud, forgery, ID theft policy. Provide accurate, confidential client service through bank cards, business online banking, or general servicing knowledge. Right. So they said, what are the capabilities of the top performing service partners? This is what you bring to the table. You have outstanding prioritization skills. You know how to display patience and empathy, because when these people calling in, they're upset. You don't like when somebody messing with your money, right? So display some patience and some empathy. Somebody that is skilled and efficient in writing and verbal communication. Somebody that can provide knowledgeable, friendly, and eloquent customer service, right? And we all like good customer service, right? So in this role, you're gonna represent the type of customer services you expect to receive when you're looking to be helped, right? Simple stuff. So that's what you can expect there. Then it gets into the self-study content, a little bit more about the client and who they are. Like I said, Fiserv is a very well-known company. They've been around for a long time. All right. And it talks a little bit about security verification. It talks about the background check here and so on and so forth, and what that process entails. So I'm not going to get too much in the weeds with this. I just want to let you guys know there is an opportunity for you guys with a rise, making $17.40 an hour, working somewhere more than likely between the hours of 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. During the week. Very easy to sign up. You don't have to do no interview. You just sign up, apply for the role, take the certification classes, and go to work, picking the hours that you want to work during the schedule that works for you. If you want to sign up, I'm going to put a link in the description and in the comments. I will also include a referral code because, like I said, I am signed up on the Rise and I have been doing campaigns. I will share my referral code. You can use it. They do have an option where you can join a team. That wasn't really my flavor. I decided, you know what, I like being my own boss, doing my own thing. I don't really want to be a part of no groups. So I went the independent route, kind of, going at it like a business owner because that works best for me. But they do have options where you can join a team and kind of work under somebody else if that's more your flavor. But other than that, man, go check out that link. Use the referral code there for you. If you found this content helpful, let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. Like the video. This is the first of many. I do have a few more. I'm just going to be banking them out as much as I can to help you guys. If you think this would be helpful to somebody else, share the video. Share the link. You can also share my referral code if you know somebody that could really use some extra money, or maybe you know somebody that's completely out of work and they don't have no income coming in and they trying to apply and apply for jobs and they not getting no hits. This is easy to sign up for. send them the video, forward them the link, give them the referral code. Let's help each other out. We all in this together. You know, I know things are kind of hard out there, and that's why I create this channel to give you guys some options. But other than that, I will catch you on the next one, Side Hustlers. Thank you for watching. Peace.